Good afternoon, Wilson. I hope everyone is doing well today. It is Friday, April the 3rd, and I'm here today to give our end of the week update, give some pertinent information to make sure that our citizens are up to date on everything that we possibly can make sure you're up to date with. We want to start off, and I'm one of the kind of persons that like to start off in a very jovial and good note and good tone, but I'm gonna start off a little different today because we have some serious topics that we need to discuss today. We have topics that we need to discuss to ensure the safety and the betterment of our community. Okay, so we're going to begin right now. If you look at your screen, you're going to see where the states are reporting to have the COVID-19 virus. This virus is getting a little worse instead of getting better. We want it to get better, but if you look on the map, as you can tell, North Carolina, our colors are not the best in the world. We want the lighter colors, but our colors are not where we need them. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think we can control that. I really think we can control that if we work together. Now, to give you the numbers for our county alone, we have 21 confirmed cases of COVID-19. We're so happy that we have 9 that have recovered, and that is a great thing. But Wilson, let me tell you, we are at the point where we have acquired our first death from COVID-19, and that is one too many. We've got to take this virus serious because it is a serious time. We never in a million years would have thought that our country would be where we are, especially dealing with such a tragic virus, but we're here and we've got to do something about it. Now, speaking with our police chief earlier today, I want everyone to know, and this is not to be used as a threat by no means, but I want you to understand that our city government, our first priority are our citizens. And we want to make sure that our citizens are healthy. So our police department has assured me that they are going to enforce executive order that was just passed by the governor. They are going to make sure that our citizens are following the 6-foot rule as much as possible. They're going to make sure that people are just doing the things that they need to do to ensure that we are protecting ourselves. We have to do that. And I want to say this to the large retailers. Now, understand, some large retailers are doing great things, and I'm not going to name anyone just to be on the safe side, but some large retailers and grocery store chains, they're doing things above and beyond to make sure our citizens are safe. And I want to say thank you for that, because our citizens are the most valuable commodity that we have. However, there are some that are not taking it the way we want. They're not doing the things that we think they should do. They're not following the executive order. And I want to say this to any large retailer, any large grocery store chain. If we find out, or if we understand, or we get information that you all are not following the executive order, we will use every avenue possible, locally, statewide, or federally, to make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Because our citizens are the most important thing to us. We understand that some businesses are in the business only to make money, but right now, in the point that we are, our citizens, they take the cake. What matters to us are the people walking around. What matters to us are these moms and dads. What matters to us are these children, and we've got to protect them, and we're going to do that. So I'm asking you, and I'm asking each of you to make sure, if you are involved in management in a large retailer or even a large grocery store, please follow the rules. Please do what the executive order says. If not, I will let you know that Wilson City government will be there, and we're going to try to make it right for our citizens. And there is a everyone knows that every morning we do prayer every morning, but there's a scripture in the Bible that says faith without works is dead. We can believe all we want to believe. We can pray every day, but we've got to put our faith and put some work behind our faith to make sure we save more lives. We have a family, like I said, that's now mourning the loss of someone We don't want that anymore. We want everyone to live and be prosperous. Now, how are we going to make sure that we do not continue to spread this virus? How are we going to make sure that we protect all our citizens? Number one, stay home. It's a stay-at-home order. Stay home. Hashtag stay home. Now, there are certain places that you can go, of course. Grocery store, if you need to go to the grocery store. Of course, if you have a doctor's appointment, if you work at one of the essential businesses, of course you're going to go to work. But other than that, stay home. Do not just haphazardly decide that you're going to go here because you're feeling good. Don't go visiting your friends because, number one, you don't know where your friends have been and you don't know who they've been around. And this virus is highly contagious. So not only would you be chancing your life, you'll be jeopardizing your children's life if you have children in the home, your spouse's life, people that you work around. So the best thing to do, the ultimate level of defense, the first level of defense, is to stay home. The executive order simply says stay home unless you have to go to work or grocery store, doctors, or what have you. Please try to adhere to that. Please try to. The second method is very easily, and I know that this is the hardest part for all of us, is the social distancing. Now, with me, I'm a very touchy-feely person. I love to hug. I love to shake hands. I love to do all of that. And it comes natural. And to most men, it does come natural. And to most women, hugging comes natural. But we're in an unnatural time right now. So we've got to change our method of operation. We've got to change it right now. Social distancing. Make sure you have at least 6 feet between you and whomever else it is you're talking to. Now, what is 6 feet? If you don't really know what 6 feet is, just imagine 2 big dogs standing head to tail of each other. That's about 6 feet. I'm a little taller than 6 feet. So just imagine somebody laying on the floor in between you, okay? 6 feet is a good distance. It's not that far away. You don't have to holler if you talk to the person. You can give them an air hug, because I've been giving air hugs all day. You can give them an air handshake, or you can just simply talk to them. But understand, everyone knows what we're dealing with, so you're not going to upset someone. Someone's not going to feel like you're being disrespectful by just keeping your distance, all right? Keeping your distance. Now, I do know that I've seen, and I'm guilty of it, and I've been working on it. When you see somebody, you kind of give them a little elbow shake. Well, if you give them an elbow shake, you're less than 6 feet away. We need to just give them an air elbow shake, air elbow, okay? Let's try that. But let's try to stay 6 feet away, okay? Please, let's try to stay 6 feet away. All right? Now, when we are in the parks, number one, if you're feeling sick, if you're feeling like, you've got a little fever or something, don't say, well, if I just go walk, I'll feel better. I need to get some fresh air. If you're feeling sick, please stay home. Stay home and call your doctor and follow their guidelines. And while you're in the park, make sure you follow the social distancing rules. Just stay about 6 feet apart in order to protect not only you from them, but them from you. And especially if you have children, make sure your children stay with you and not run all over, because, kids don't really understand the importance of what we're doing. They just think maybe it's just something to do. But if you hold on to your child while they're walking, running, whatever you're doing, make sure that they do not go within a certain distance from whomever is in the park. Even if it's their friend, make sure they stay that 6 foot distance. Now, I do understand that some families, some parents, what have you, may not be as happy with us right now because the actual playground portion of parks are not open and the bathrooms are not open. People understand. It is for your safety and your children's safety. This virus can live on surfaces. We don't know the length of time it can live on a surface. So if your baby, your little precious baby, is on a slide or on a swing and they get off, but they got on after someone who was sick with the virus, who was asymptomatic, that virus is still there. So now your child has the potential of contracting that virus to take it home to give it to their mom and dad. So the best solution that we could think of was just to close the actual recreation area, but not the park. The park is not closed. just a playground. And we only did that for your safety. And while I'm here, let me say, when we start talking about the social distancing and the safety, I've had a lot of emails. The city government's had a lot of emails. Councilmen have had emails. A lot of people are asking for a curfew. A lot of people are saying, why don't you just put a curfew in place? Well, understand, that's not something that we want to do at this point, because that's going to be one of the last measures. But I will say this, if our numbers continue to climb and we realize that our citizens are just not doing what they can do to not only protect themselves but protect other people, number one, the governor may come up and say that we have stricter guidelines. But if the governor doesn't, and we see that some people in Wilson are causing unhealthy habits for others in Wilson, we will come together and we will have to impose stricter guidelines that have to be followed, and that will only be for the safety of our citizens in our community. We just want everyone to live through this. We want everyone to make it through this, but we will not be able to do it if we do not take this virus serious. So, number one, stay home, all right? Number two, keep your social distancing. That is very important. And the next, one of the next most important things is washing your hands. Make sure when you wash your hands, you use, it's like I'm talking to one of my children, use water and use soap together, all right? Wash your hands, put water and soap together, and wash them for about 20 seconds. Wash your hands for about 20 seconds. Now, you can do that periodically through the day, but most importantly, anytime you go outside the house and you come back in, you want to wash your hands. And I know it may sound a little redundant, and some of the things that I am saying, we have said before, but we're at an even more critical point because our positive case number is growing. Our recovery number is growing, but our positive case number is growing, and we want that number to stop growing. Now, it will never decrease, but we want the number to stop growing, and we want our recovery cases to continue to grow, and we do not want any more passing from this virus. So, again, number one, stay home if you don't have to go to work or you don't have to go to the grocery store. If it's not something vitally important, stay home. Number two, wash your hands as often as possible, especially when you're going in and out. And number three, make sure that you use social distancing, which is the 6-foot rule. If you do those three things, you'll be doing what you can to help prevent the spread of this virus, not only to you, but to your family and also to other people, all right? Now, let's talk about cleaning. Now, in my last update, I did say that not only do you have to clean, you have to disinfect. So cleaning works, but it doesn't work as good as if you clean and disinfect. You have to clean and you have to disinfect. Now, when we talk about cleaning, you want to clean the areas that are touched mostly. You have tables, doorknobs, light switches, countertops, handles, desks, phones, keyboards, toilets, faucets, sinks, etc. Those areas that are highly touched, clean them on a regular basis. If you have a Clorox wipe, something like that, just go by and clean them. Clean them. Now, I know here at City Hall, the officers here are constantly walking by cleaning doorknobs because they're highly touched. Now, when you talk about disinfecting, now after you clean the area, you want to disinfect that area, and there are some different disinfectants that the CDC and EPA recommends, and you can find that if you look at the screen. There is a website that you can use, and it's called EPA Registered Household Disinfectant, or you can just go in and Google EPA disinfectants, and it'll tell you. And I know for a fact, and everyone knows this, if you're 35 or older, Clorox is a disinfectant. Clorox will disinfect almost anything. So if you don't have the high name brand, what have you, some good old Clorox will help this situation, all right? So cleaning and disinfecting, all right? And also, if you're going to use a solution, make sure the solution is 70% alcohol. That is very important. Make sure your solution is, if you're going to use a pre-made solution, make sure it has at least 70% alcohol in it. Now, another very important item are our electronics. Everyone that I know that is 2 years old and older has a cell phone. Please wipe your cell phones off. Now, I know that may sound a little off the rocker, but you can carry that virus on that device. And if you have it on that device and you sit the device down, and then someone else picks it up to talk on it, you have just transferred the virus. Just that simple. We do not know the amount of time that it can stay on an electronic device. We don't know the exact amount of time this virus stays anywhere, to be honest with you. You know, there are numbers that have been thrown out there, but we do know that items can carry this virus. So you want to clean your electronic device. Just take a wipe, whether it be a Clorox wipe or whatever, and just wipe your phone. It will not hurt your phone. Wipe the front, wipe the back. And also, it has been recommended not to share phones. If someone needs to use your phone, put it on speaker and let them talk in it, but make sure you wipe it anyway, because when you put it up against your face, you're talking into it, and I'm gonna let you use your visual for the rest, okay? So clean your phones as much as you can. Wash your hands 6 feet apart from each other, and stay home, most importantly. Stay home. All right. Now, again, if you have to go out, there are certain things that we would like for you to do, and like we said, number one is wash your hands as soon as you come back. But while you're out, try to avoid touching your eyes, your nose, mouth, or anything while you're out. Try not to touch any of that. Very important, do not go to the store if you're sick. If you're feeling kind of down, you're feeling a little feverish, don't go to the store. What we need you to do is call the doctor, all right? But do not go to the store. If you have to cough or sneeze, make sure you do it into your elbow. If you use a tissue, do not reuse that tissue. As soon as you cough or sneeze, discard that tissue. Try to make sure you don't shop in groups, all right? Do not shop in groups. And also maintain, again, at least 6 feet between you and other shoppers. Now, depending on what grocery store you go to, if you look around, you see they have markings on the floor, which will be a great help for you. So if you can kind of follow those markings, but there again, if you see somebody in front of you, even if you know them, don't just walk up on them. Kind of keep your distance, all right? Keep your distance, not only to protect you, but also to protect your family, your loved ones, and also to protect their family. And I do need to throw this in here, okay? Because I was in the grocery store the other day, and somebody coughed. And oh my goodness, you would have thought that the whole building just blew up, because they coughed and everybody just kind of looked around and just, oh my goodness. Just because someone coughs does not mean they're sick. It is allergy season, all right? And people still can get the flu or what have you. So don't automatically think that because somebody coughed around you that you have just contracted COVID-19. That does not mean that. Hopefully that person coughed into their elbow, and hopefully you were at least 6 feet apart, all right? But again, if someone sneezes, coughs, blows their nose, one of those things, don't lose it. Stay calm. It's gonna be okay. Just keep on shopping. Go to the bread aisle, get an extra loaf of bread so you can stay home even longer, all right? There we go. So I had to throw that in there because that did happen. Now, throughout the day, if you have questions on this virus, and I know a lot of people have questions, you can call 211 or 1-888-892-1162. You can also get updates from the Department of Health and Human Services by texting COVID-NC to 898-211. And again, our city provides updates at www.wilsonnc.org and on the city's Facebook page. And I will tell you that we have great sources of information coming from right here in our city. The county does a great job. The city does a great job. Health department does a great job. We have the Wilson Daily Times. We have Department of Social Services. We have a lot of people here that are trying to make sure that our citizens stay informed, all right? So try to stay off of the Facebook news, all right, if it's not coming from one of those sources, because you'll probably get messages that tell you that a helicopter is going to come and spray disinfectant all over the city. That's not going to happen. You're going to get a message that says, well, I got a message that said at 2 o'clock in the morning, cut your phones off because something's going to happen. And I was like, are you serious? And the sad part, it was shared to me about 20 times. People are out there just to get a rise out of you. Is this virus serious? It is very serious. It is life-threatening serious. However, sometimes we as humans, we make things worse than what they are with our mind, you know. So if we can change our mindset that we're going to beat this, because we are, change your mindset and just have in your mind, yes, it's here. I'm gonna do everything I can to not contract it or pass it along. I'm gonna ignore the foolishness, and I'm gonna focus on what I know is accurate and reliable information. And it's out there. You don't have to look outside of Wilson to get accurate and up-to-date information. All right, so please remember that. Now, if you have questions about COVID-19, health questions about yourself, if you're feeling sick, something of that nature, you're getting really anxious because you took your temperature and your temperature is elevated, one of those things, call the Wilson Health Department, 237-3141, and it's option 3. And then also Wilson Medical Center at 399-7068. Again, Wilson Health Department, Wilson County Health Department, 252-237-3141, and Wilson Medical Center, 252-399-7068. Those are the numbers you call. And of course, if you have a doctor, call your doctor first, and your doctor will give you the right advice to go to. Now, I also have found out that a lot of doctors' offices are doing things differently. Some doctors' offices are not receiving patients that are sick. So what you need to do, if you're feeling sick, call your doctor first, give them your symptoms, and let them guide you in the way to go. Do not show up to your doctor's office sick, because there may be a good chance that they're not going to see you. Some doctors' offices actually have satellite offices specifically for people that are not feeling well. And the actual doctor's office is being used for physicals and, just wellness checks. So make sure you call your doctor first. Now, enough about that right now. Let's talk about our businesses. Now, it's been about 2 weeks now that our governor has pretty much closed a lot of businesses for the health and well-being of our city, for the health and well-being of the state, but it has affected a lot of our small businesses. Wilson, we can come back from this. Small businesses were built by people like you and me. Small businesses can live and be revitalized by people like you and me. All we have to do is support our small businesses. Now, right now, I think for the most part, the only ones that are really open are maybe like restaurants, and they're not open. They're only open for drive-through or either takeout, and a lot of places are delivering now. So as much as you can, support our local businesses. There are some great eateries here in Wilson. And if you look at me, you could tell I know every eatery in Wilson. If you want to know about it, email me, text me, I'll tell you if it's good or not. And 9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be as good. But for the ones that are not open yet, please, as soon as we're allowed to go back into business with our businesses, please support them, because you never know, whatever you buy from them may be the reason they have a meal to put on their table for their family that evening. Support our local businesses, regardless of what it is. Support them, because I can almost promise you, regardless, whatever it is you want, you can find. And I know you may find it at the big, gigantic department stores, but I guarantee you, if you look hard enough, you'll find it right here in Wilson at one of our local businesses, because we have some awesome people here doing some awesome things. So let's support our businesses. And on a much lighter note, every morning we have been so fortunate to be able to have our morning prayer. Now, I'm going to tell you, personally for me, it started out as a vision that I wanted to see our community come together to bring our city out of this. And it has happened. It is happening. Every morning, our team goes out and we are meeting with a pastor of a church, and they are praying for our city. And they're not just praying for our city, they're praying for our city leaders, they're praying for our state, they're praying for our nation. And regardless of what their political affiliation is, regardless of what they feel, whether it's Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, it doesn't matter. We put all that to the side. All we're focused on is our city making it through what we're going through. And I personally feel emphatically that prayer is going to get us through. But it's also going to take the works of our citizens doing what is right. But I want to say to all of the pastors that have been so gracious to invite us into their church every morning and do it with a smile, thank you from the bottom of our heart. Thank you so much for allowing us to come into your church, but more so, thank you for praying for our city. And I realize that a lot of our citizens are starting to look at it. And so if you get a little overwhelmed with all of this COVID-19 stuff, go to our city's website. If you look under the mayor's page, you can find every prayer. So if you just want to hear something, instead of hear something bad, go and you can look at every prayer that has gone through. And I'm telling you, it is amazing. And I think I have like the best job in the world. It's a tough job, but it's the best job in the world, being able to be there in the mornings to watch people pray for our city. It means so much to me. And again, pastors, I want to say thank you for that. Now, we are in our census time. And of course, right now, things are a little haywire, things are a little crazy, but you should be home, all right? And while you're home, why don't we go ahead and knock the census out? Now, right now, we are around 40%. 40% is not that great. We want to be at 100%, all right? At least 99.9. So what I need you to do, since you're already home, because you're following the executive order that the governor has put out, and you're not ripping and running, you are home with your family, and you're safe, and you're doing everything the executive order said, since I already know that, go to www.my2020, let me say it again, www.my2020census.gov. Go there. I've done my census. It takes all of 6 minutes, 7 minutes. You're going to get a little screen is going to come, and it's going to say you've completed your census, and it's going to give you some numbers. You take a picture of that number, and then while you're out walking, keeping your 6 feet apart from each other, just hold your phone up and say, I did my census. Did you do your census? You know, because we really need these numbers to go up. On a serious note, we need our numbers to go up because, again, we're going to get past this stumbling block. And when we get past this stumbling block, we're going to need to continue to build Wilson like we were already building it. And what is going to help us are our numbers. Number one, our numbers may give us another delegate, which is what we really could have. Also, our numbers are going to give us more funding in certain areas. And we need that funding here to help Wilson continue to grow because we're already on an up spiral, all right? We need to keep going. So if we can get our numbers up, we can have even more things going on in Wilson like everyone wants. And I know because prior to this COVID-19, every day I heard it, and I was with you completely. I heard it. So let's get our numbers up. Again, since you're home, following the governor's orders, being obedient stewards, go ahead and do your census, all right? It won't hurt you, I promise. And I want to take time right now, again, to give a special thank you to not only the Wilson County Public Schools. You guys are amazing. Wilson County School Board, our county commissioners working with them in conjunction with the Wilson County Schools, and those teachers' assistants, the school administrators that are ensuring that we have children that may need food are getting it. Thank you so much. It just does my heart good to know that even though we have parents that are having to work, if their child is hungry, they can go to a school that they can find and get a lunch and a breakfast. You know, when they go, they get lunch that day, and they get the breakfast for the next day. And a special shout out to the Wilson Spot and to all of those volunteers. You guys are amazing too. I don't know what to say other than you are absolutely amazing for doing what you're doing because I do believe what you do for the least of them counts the most. And you're making sure that not only students eat, people that need food, they can eat. And at a time like this, we have to be our brothers and sisters keepers. So Wilson County Public Schools, the Wilson Spot, hoorah. On behalf of the entire council, city manager, deputy city manager, all the leadership team, we want to say thank you so much for what you're doing. And keep up the good work. And before we leave, I want to definitely give a last shout out, not only to our police chief, and our fire chief, which I give them a shout out because they are the head of that department. But I want to say to each one of the policemen, each one of the firemen, thank you so much. You are literally putting your life in harm's way to protect us on a daily basis. While everyone else is being ordered to stay home, your orders are to go out. And when you get a call, you're going. And you make sure that whatever's going on, you fix it. And you don't know what you're going into. You don't know what you're stepping into. And so, again, on behalf of the entire city council, our city manager, our deputy city manager, and the entire leadership team of Wilson County, I want to say to you, thank you for what you're doing. We appreciate it. We honor you. And just keep up the good work again. And for everyone else, I want you to stay updated with the city news. Again, go to www.wilsonnc.org. You can find us on Facebook, Vimeo, Twitter, Instagram. And also, when you go to our website, if you just click on the COVID-19 link, and it'll be at the top left, you can find all the information that you possibly could ever fathom to want to find. And just keep up with relevant, current, accurate information. Again, Wilson, thank you so much for this opportunity. We will have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.